Hello and welcome back to Europe 1100. We're here in front of a 240 strong Hungarian army, and they've actually got some pretty decent units in their composition as well. If you take a look here, you can see that they actually have 50 Hungarian Bahn. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, my apologies. That is basically their noble troop or their cavalry. And if we just take a quick look at them here. Oh, they're actually at the top. That's hilarious. Yeah, that is actually their tier 4 initial starting noble troops. So that's obviously something that we're going to have to be maybe a little bit careful of, but obviously, as we know from our very own troops, tier 4 nobles, they're not that powerful just yet. But hopefully we're going to be able to achieve victory against them, because this is indeed the king, as you can see right here. This is the king, so this is going to be a pretty important victory for us. If we can achieve victory here, we should have the opportunity to then send for additional vassals from our own faction, and hopefully they are then going to enable us to besiege the appropriate place, and then we'll be good. So obviously that's the thing. We want to take Zagreb, of course. That is the last and final fief for the Hungarians, and if we can actually achieve victory there, then we will, in all intents and purposes, eliminate them. And that's the point. If we can potentially, see, that's the thing, I don't know how we're going to do it just yet, but we need to kind of figure out a way to create our own faction. Now, from my perspective right now, I am probably, I'm going to assess how strong our current faction is, because we've got to be a bit careful, because I want to leave with my fiefs intact, because I've done a lot of work on them. They literally have taken me, I don't know, probably a whole in-game year or two. I'm not entirely sure how long it's been actually since I've gained the first fief, but it's been a long time in-game, and I would like to try and maximize that if at all possible. But obviously sometimes maybe we're just not going to be able to do it. I don't know. That's the point. I would like, if at all possible, to leave, to defect with the fiefs intact, and we are probably going to try to do that, but that then means that we will have a bit of an aggression situation on our hands, and yeah, that's going to be a bit, you know, a little bit antsy about that, because they are quite strong, or at least I think the current faction that we're in at the moment is quite strong, thanks to our assistants. And yeah, these guys, this is the reason why I actually really like these kinds of maps, because you have these situations where the enemy literally just has one entry point to attack us, and they can't actually do anything else, which is pretty amazing. So we're actually just going to start moving our forces over here now, because the enemy horse archers don't seem to really be doing too much, which is interesting in itself. They are literally just like, no, I am not going to go across the bridge, which of course is their prerogative and indeed is the smart move. However, as you can see now, they are going to try and attack me with their tier 4 nobles, trying to keep them away a little bit there with my polearm attacks. And this is the thing now. The AI is pretty smart in this case, where they have actually decided to stash most of their units in the forest. And as you know, as you may or may not know, cavalry's not so good in a forest, so not that happy to make my way in there, so to speak. So yeah, maybe I'm just going to do a little bit of a skirmish on the outside of the forest for now. I'm going to get shot multiple times at the moment, which is unfortunate, but hopefully I will be able to live through this. As far as I'm aware, I am, well, not me specifically, but Martha is indeed pregnant again, so that is actually very good. Hopefully we're going to be able to get another heir for us. That's going to be nice. And otherwise, apart from that, I think we're gonna charge now. I think we're gonna charge, because as you can see, the enemy's archers and infantry, they're relatively far away. I'm very much hoping that most of my cavalry will go over here, and maybe I can actually do something against them as well. But ooh, this is bad. Oh yeah, they've actually decided to camp on the very edge of the map. That makes things much more uncomfortable. And oh, hello. That's yep, I knew it was. Yep, that was indeed the enemy vassal right there. One of them at least. it would be great if we could eliminate both, because that is going to then cause a cascade of morale problems to occur, and that would be wonderful. That would be so, so nice, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything like that, unfortunately. I am very low in HP as well, so it's highly likely I will be killed shortly, but we're just going to try and maximize the amount of kills that we can get for now, try to level up our polearm skill a little bit more, and we can only just be hopeful, actually, that I don't get, I don't get killed, because that happened very surprisingly in that previous episode, in episode 11. And yeah, I'm still shocked by that, to be honest, because usually that kind of thing doesn't happen. Not to me, at least. I know I've heard from a bunch of people in the past where they've said to me, hey, I lost my character after this amount of days, just randomly, and I had to say, I've never had an experience like that without playing with a specific mod that increases the chances of death. For example, the Death for All series. The Death for All series obviously made it so that the likelihood of survival was, I think it was like only 3 times the normal amount of a regular unit, whereas the normal setting for survival is actually 50 times that. 50 times that of a normal regular troop, which is absolutely insane if you think about it. If you think about the fact that we actually lost one of our characters while playing on those default settings, that just says everything you need to know. That was an extremely freak accident, pretty much, what's going on there. But yeah, anyway, there we go. We did manage to survive, amazingly enough. Yes. Okay, so we did actually end up losing 20 units, which I'm not that big a fan of, but that's just how it goes. Okay, you fight well. I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let her go as well, and I will let the. Should I let the king go? I will let the king go. Why not? Let's let the king go. And probably shouldn't have done that, all things considered. I did actually take someone else prisoner relatively recently, and just purely because I didn't want them to come back and attack us. That is the only reason. Oh yes, also you may see that I have less units that need to level up, and that is primarily because I actually bit the bullet finally, and I did spend a couple of my war mounts to level them up. So we're now going to start getting more and more people that are actually going to be, somewhat more powerful. Hopefully we'll be able to get them to tier 6 without them actually dying. Anyway, let's just take a quick look here. So yeah, as you can see, these guys, they just level up without any war mount cost. However, the rest of them are unfortunately suffering from this. So I'm thinking what we're going to do is we're going to level up these because they get to tier 6, and then I'm thinking we'll level up the German nobles, yeah, and then we'll be pretty good with that, I think. Okay, so now here's the thing. I went over here to sell, and they don't have any money anymore, which is unfortunate. Well, at least I don't think they have money anymore, but let's just take a quick look at my perks, because obviously we did level up as well. So now that I have 7 in social, I think that is that enough to get me to 300? I don't think it is. I'm going to have to go for another point in social, and then we'll see. And otherwise, apart from that, plus 50% renown gain from battles. I am 100% going to take that. I mean, that's the thing. Loyalty and honor is actually really good, as you can see right here. A plus 30% faster non-bandit prisoner recruitment. That is actually kind of incredible, but we already have pretty decent recruitment for our prisoners because we have that other perk in, is it roguery or what is it? I don't know. I can't remember the perk, but it's basically the thing that increases the rate of conversion of tier 4 and above prisoners. That's the thing that I'm thinking of right there. So I think I'm going to go for this just purely because I want to get more renown so that we can increase our overall party capacity. That's really going to make a huge difference in the end. And otherwise, apart from that, we're going to be going for Thunderous Charge, because mounted melee kills is usually what I'm going to be going for here. I'm also going to be putting a point in smithing, because in the end, I would like to create my very own weapon. I mean, I obviously have created my weapon here. This is my polearm that I'm using right now, but I'd like to create something a little bit less unwieldy, because it is at the moment quite large, isn't it, and quite hard to use. So yes, anyway, let's just move on in here, and what we're going to do is we'll just wait here for some time. I'm actually just going to see whether there are any horses. Aha, there we go. Yeah, it's very, very cheap, and we can actually take these. Are we herd? We have a herd problem right now, so that's actually fine. That is actually not that big a deal. We can actually just get rid of a couple of these. Maybe a bit too many. And let's just let go of some of those as well. My herd is still having a bit of a problem there. Yeah, just one more. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we're just going to get rid of some of my food and things like that, because that's the reason why we're actually over encumbered right now. Yeah, the clay is... Oh, wow, we have a lot of clay. We have a lot of salt. What's actually going on there? Why do I have so much salt and everything? Okay, sheep, cows, flax, all these trade goods and things like that are going to be insanely heavy. So yeah, it's nice that we got rid of that. And obviously charcoal and hardwood. I should really refine some more of this hardwood, because as you can see, charcoal actually weighs less than hardwood. So we're going to have to do something with that. And we are making 13,000 right now, which is actually pretty good, surprisingly enough. I didn't think that they would actually have any money, because they were in the negative the last time I was here. So anyway, let's just do this. There we go. That's obviously going to save us quite a bit of space as well, and we could potentially do a little bit of smelting here too. However, smelting doesn't actually help you as much as you might think, because if you take a look here, the weight of these things is literally just a little bit more than what you would get from these things, because you're mostly going to be getting two or more resources from every single one of those smelts. So for example, these are 0.5, right? And then if you smelt an axe or something like that. Let me actually just have a look here. If you smelt an axe, or let's say an arming sword or something like that, you're going to be getting what? 1, 4, 6. You're going to be getting 6 pieces of resource, and this weight is only 1.34. You see, so it doesn't really work out as you might expect, which is actually quite crazy. But we do have Curious Smelter here, right here, which is actually really amazing, which gives us more learning rate. So I might as well start smelting some stuff, and then we can also get our smithing up, because I do need to get to 150. Getting to 150 would be absolutely amazing. Seems like I'm unfortunately not able to get to 150. I am able to refine a bunch more charcoal though, which is also going to increase my smithing to 143. And maybe, you know what? Do you think I can actually... maybe I can get what I need. Leveling tier 4. There we go. All right, let's actually see. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. We're to 150 almost immediately right there, because we were able to create a huge amount of these things. And then we can literally just smelt these things once again. And there you have it. So now we are at 150 smithing. Let's take a look at what kind of perks we can get for 150. I am actually going to need to rest here for quite some time as well. I'm hopeful. Yes, there we go. This is exactly what I wanted. We're going to go for the Vigor attribute for now, because I don't have a huge amount of throwing focus points anyway. So that's really going to make a big difference. Okay, so now... what are we going to do? Well, I have 287 influence, so it's probably going to make a big difference for me to call for an army, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So let's call for these guys. It's going to cost me 99 influence. I'm not sure if this is going to be enough, actually. There's only 415 people that are coming to join me here. That doesn't look particularly... that's not very convincing, is it? No, that is not very convincing at all. I'm not convinced, really. Okay, well, we're going to have some issues here. Yeah, prisoners are obviously slowing me down quite a bit, which is somewhat unfortunate, but we can't really convince too many of them right now, which is hilarious, considering I actually said that we don't need that perk that increases the conversion rate. Yeah, it seems like we do, actually. That might have made more sense. Oh, well, never mind. More renown is always good. You can always, do well with more renown. Oh, hello. Is this guy not literally going in? This is very weird. Oh, he didn't. That is hilarious. I'm not entirely sure what this guy's even doing, because he literally just could have gone straight on in there. And I'm actually wondering whether we should fight him. Because if I fight him, I do have the opportunity to get more polearm skill. And more polearm skill equals more speed when I'm in these kinds of situations where it is a do or die circumstance, and we don't really want to die in that situation. So let me actually just tell my people to charge in. Our combat strength is dramatically more than his, so we should have a pretty easy time of things here, and maybe I'm not going to get shot in the face and die almost immediately. That would be not so good. There we go, nice hit. Maybe we can get some more. Yes, there we go. And we're almost at 175 in polearms. I'm actually not entirely sure what would be really, really good for me to get with polearms going forward, because I don't know. The only thing I can really think of with polearms that is significantly useful is the ability to push people off mounts, and obviously the final perk in the tree is absolutely amazing. You know, as we know, that's just going to increase our damage and speed with it so dramatically. It's going to be like night and day, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, apart from being able to push people off mounts and things, that's pretty much it. And most of the time we're probably going to be killing enemies instantly anyway as soon as we hit them, as you can see from my damage here. Oh, someone actually survived. How did he do that? I have no idea. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I think he was actually a peasant unit as well who survived that. I must have hit him on his little finger or something like that, really. That must have been the case. Literally, I mean, look at how much damage I'm able to do here the majority of the time. Over 200 every single time we hit. And obviously the speed bonus does have a slight impact on it. But fighting on this hill is such an AI thing to do, isn't it? Every single time the AI has some kind of issue, like, you know, let's say that they're completely outmatched, outnumbered, whatever you want to call it. They always make these really funny, and I'm not even talking about Bannerlord only here, I'm talking about games in the series in general. They always tend to do some weird things where they'll just run into like a really deserted corner of the battlefield and basically be like, oh, don't attack me. And it's just funny. I don't know. I feel like, you know what would be actually pretty cool? Maybe if they added some kind of like retreat mechanic. And now I know, yeah, there is a retreat mechanic already due to I'm not sure whether is Famous Commander actually coming into effect, because we're only getting 10 renown for this. Oh well, whatever the case, doesn't matter. All I'm saying is I feel like it might be kind of cool to have a retreat mechanic that isn't tied to your or your enemy's morale, but a retreat mechanic, because obviously you yourself can decide whenever you want to retreat. But what I'm mostly talking about here is the enemy having the ability to actively decide whether they want to retreat. So, for example, let's say that you get a notification, or let's just say that you have spies or something like that. You know, just imagine it. You know. From a realistic perspective, let's say that we have spies or we have lookouts or something that are going to provide us with information about the opposing forces. And in that situation, maybe they go, oh, the enemy looks to be about to retreat. And then they give you, I don't know, maybe a minute, maybe 30 seconds or something like that. And they give you like a countdown on the screen that kind of goes, hey, you know what? You need to act now. You need to go ahead and attack the opponent because they are disorganized. They are preparing to retreat from the battlefield. And I feel like that actually, that could be pretty cool, in my opinion. I feel like that could be pretty cool because that makes it so that you actually have to move a little bit quicker, and the enemy is going to receive a disadvantage for being attacked like this, but you're also going to have your own forces be somewhat disorganized as well, because of course you're trying to, you're trying to attack them without really being prepared if you do that kind of thing and you prepare yourself. So yeah, I think that could actually be really cool, but obviously that's just me. Maybe I'm weird like that, I don't know. Anyway, I would love to be able to go into this town here and actually besiege this. And I'm hopeful that we will be able to blockade it in just a moment. We're just going to help out some of my forces here because they seem to actually be attacking randomly. I'm not entirely sure why they're doing that, to be honest, but I guess it's okay. I guess it's pretty good for them to do that. Let's just take a quick look at my kingdom as well, because I'd actually like to see... Okay, so the Kingdom of Sicily is doing okay right now. They have 3,700. Now the main problem, and this is a pretty big problem actually, the main problem is that if we decide to defect from them, we're going to have a combat strength of around 300, if that. Maybe not even 300. We might even just have 200, maybe even 100, dependent on how many people we have in the garrison there, I suppose. I mean, we could always prepare, you know, that's the thing. We can always prepare and make sure that we have the greatest chances of succeeding. Someone actually did mention in the comments that it would be a good idea for me to create some parties and get some companions to level up their combat skills to prepare for the inevitable eventuality that we're going to have people, and we need them, you know, we need them to become vassals or to field their own units and to help us out to increase our army strength. But obviously, as you can quite clearly tell here, most of them are running caravans at the moment. And I don't know whether I want to stop them running caravans. That's the thing. Do I want to stop them running caravans or do I not? That's the question here. Anyway, we are going to be heading in to besiege the town now. Let's actually just take a quick look. Ah, yes, I did get trade to 200. Let's have a look. Okay, we're going to go for minus 20% price penalty while selling pottery, I guess? Or while selling food items. Neither one of these actually makes any real difference to me at the moment, because I'm not really going to be doing too much trading actively. I'll take the food items because we are usually selling food more often than any of the other things. Alright, so... while in shield wall... Yeah, I'm never usually in shield wall, so we're going to go for standard bearer, I suppose. Alright, so here we go. This is a 402 strong army fighting against 873. Can I actually call for more people? No, I cannot perform this action while I'm in a siege. I feel like that's kind of weird. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to send a messenger while I'm in a siege, but alright. Let's get some of these guys to join me. We can level up some of those fellows without using horses. And I'm basically, what I'm going to try to do here, I will try to construct some stuff just in case we have to go in. Because my engineering is absolutely just awful. It's really awful. And there's not really much for me to say about that. But what's really cool is that we're reducing their food. That's the only thing that I'm really trying to do right here. Unfortunately, many of them are actually managing to escape. So I'm thinking, you know what, let's just try it and see, because we may indeed have to go in here with force. We may not get lucky with our starvation mechanic, and it may not kick in at all. And then we might have to just do things the uncomfortable way. So we'll see what happens, but I'm hopeful, crossing fingers right now, crossing fingers, making sure that maybe we're going to be lucky. And the garrison is going to start suffering from the starvation mechanic. And if it doesn't, then that's fine, because... Oh, no, it is! Look at that! It is actually going down! That's fantastic! Look at that! It is actually working. What I do have to make sure of, though, is making sure that my cohesion does not drop too low. Can you imagine if my army right now, when everything is going according to plan, would disband? That would be the absolute worst thing ever. Alright, but thankfully that is not happening right now. The garrison is just dwindling like no one's business. We are actually almost able to get the walls down too. And my own food situation is doing absolutely fine. And there you have it. Okay, look at that. This is absolutely fantastic. So, what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to remove the trebuchets. Now, the main reason why I remove the trebuchets is purely because I don't want anyone to be on them when we enter the battle, because I found that they don't really do too much, and it feels like a waste of manpower, to be honest. That's usually what I'm thinking about right there. Apart from that, we are going to keep the battering ram, but we're not going to keep the siege towers. I don't see the point for siege towers when we've destroyed the walls. However, the battering ram could be kind of useful. So, without further ado, this is going to be our first really, really big siege. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's not that large, is it? It's not really that large. So I don't know. Maybe it's maybe it's nothing really to write home about here, but I don't know. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. We should probably just count our lucky stars that the starvation mechanic actually worked. Maybe it doesn't work in castles. That could be what is going on here. It could just be like a castle thing that is having some weird interaction or whatever with the mechanic itself, because a couple of other people have actually mentioned that in the comments as well, where the starvation mechanic either doesn't work at all, or it only starts working after a couple of days where, you know, the enemy has 0 food remaining. So it's a bit weird, but oh well, never mind. Anyway, I'm just going to get off my mount right now. This is the exact reason why I want to create a new polearm as well, because this polearm, while it is fantastic on horseback, it is very unwieldy in these kinds of situations. It's going to be extremely difficult for me to use. Obviously, I'm not so bad at it because I've used these kinds of things in the past. Hilariously enough, now getting absolutely wrecked by a one-handed axe. But yeah, generally, this is not too bad if I can actually survive. Ah, there we go. I've got a pretty decent shield actually right now. So even if they do end up shooting me in the back or something like that, I shouldn't have too many issues. This guy. Yeah, this guy just hounding me consistently. That is such a pain. Thankfully, these guys don't really seem to want to defend themselves at all, and they're actually getting out their bows as well, which is rather funny. But yes, anyway, we should be pretty good to continue here. Oh no, don't have that much athletic skill. Gonna have to go up here, surprisingly. Oh, that was some damage. Hello. Okay, we're going to have to be careful here as well. Thankfully, the enemy does like to disperse when you get to the top of the stairs, randomly for some reason. Don't know why that happens, but most of the time it does. And then we're going to be able to maximize. And, you know, look at what's happening right now. Have you seen what's happening? Have you seen the rarest thing in the history of the world? Yes, I'm still alive. Yes, I'm still alive right here. Pretty surprising. And the enemy only has 15 left, and my forces are basically just waiting for them to retreat by the looks of things. Yes, that seems to be what they were wanting to do, which is fine. I don't have a problem with them doing that, even though it would have been nice to just eliminate everyone in one fell swoop, but that's fine. The siege itself was relatively uneventful, really. It was very, very uneventful, and we were able to achieve victory very easily, so I'm actually quite pleased about that. Anyway, we do have a huge amount of prisoners here, and I might as well take all of them because, well, obviously I will then be able to sell them for a significant amount, and I'm actually going to have to show mercy here. That's the thing. I personally don't understand why. I mean, no, I do understand this, obviously. I do understand that many of these vassals are not going to be merciful lords. They're going to be you know, aggressive or cruel or whatever, and I do understand that, but what I don't understand is why they would want to do something so incredibly idiotic most of the time. Because in these situations, the best thing to do would be to actually show mercy so that the reduce of loyalty is minimal. That is what I'm trying to say here, because if you devastate, for example, it reduces the loyalty of the town by 30. Same thing with pillaging. And well, on a smaller scale, of course. And the building levels are reduced. So the only reason why I would say to devastate or to pillage is because you think you're not going to be maintaining control of it. But what is the point in actually besieging the thing if you're not going to take it and keep it as your own? It's a bit weird to me. Anyway. Oh, she's actually that is very funny. She lost her cruel trait. That is amusing. Alright, well, let's head on into the marketplace here. And we can get rid of quite a few of our little bits of food here, and we can also sell a huge amount of our armor. And obviously selling this armor is going to be significant gains in terms of cash. Obviously having a character that has a significant amount of roguery, or a decent amount of roguery, shall we say, is definitely going to make a huge difference to our coin purse, which is exactly what's happening here. Anyway, we might actually be able to sell all of it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 76,000. Very nice indeed. And we also gained a skill point from selling all of that stuff too. All right, so now look at this. I mean, hilariously enough, I smelted every single thing I had in my inventory before, and now look at how much I have. It's absolutely crazy. All right, let's just do this. There we go. And then we're actually just going to go over to the save designs. I need to go to the two-handed swords, leveling tier 4, and let's just do a bunch of these. There we go, we're at 175 now, which is very, very good. Bear in mind, these are still all broken and rusty because we're not able to create anything better than this, unfortunately. Very, very sad. But bear in mind, I will be converting most of this stuff into into resources and things like that as well. So that's the reason why I'm not really selling too much of it, because as you can see, I can convert this stuff. And obviously, if we take Martha over into the arena, I'm probably going to do this off screen. You don't have to see me do that, obviously. But if I take Martha off screen into the arena and have her respec, we can actually make things work really, really nicely for us. Anyway, I'm going to be going into the dungeon. Oh, I can't. Oh, hello. Yeah. The dungeon limit has been exceeded with 487. Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. So we're just gonna be, actually, wait a minute. Let me, oh, I can't donate troops either. Oh, I wanted to donate prisoners. Ah, okay, well, okay, fine. I can't do that then. Alright, so we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way then. Let's just get a couple of tier 4s here. There we go. And we're just gonna have to sort by tier here as well. Do I want to get rid of the vassal? Yeah, I guess we'll get rid of the vassal because, well, they should be eliminated relatively soon. They do not have a fief or anything like that, so it should be pretty good for us. And otherwise, we're going to be just selling every single person that is tier 3, and we'll keep the rest. There we go. And now we can just wait here for some time, and then we can actually see what happens, because obviously we want to make sure that we are in the best possible situation to maybe defend. Maybe there is going to be a defense that is going to come up. Who knows? We can now vote for the owner of the town. And people... Oh! Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Oh, yes. I'm going to be taking this. There's no question about it. I'm going to be taking this because this is all going to set us up for our eventual creation of our faction. We may even be able to create our faction really, really soon. And so I'm very excited about that. Very, very excited. Now, the loyalty situation is very problematic, and the fact that they don't have any food is also extremely bad. I did sell them quite a lot of food, and as you can see, it should be starting to take effect relatively soon. Hopefully it is going to take effect, so I don't have to worry about it too much. I mean, you can see here that they actually have some pretty decent upgrades as well. Nothing too bad, and I should... You know what? I might even be able to, I might be able to get a governor, potentially. Not sure if that's really going to work, but maybe be able to do that. Okay, so we have 10k in here. This is going to take 8 days to create. That's absolutely fine. Then we're actually just going to stop all these other things, and then we'll just let festivals and games take place until I can find a governor. There's no governor in here, unfortunately enough. Would have been wonderful if there was, but we're going to have to find a... Hungarian? Is that true? Hungarian? Yes, this is indeed the culture of this town. Okay, yes. So we will have to find a Hungarian companion. Not sure how likely that's going to be, but yeah, we're making massive bank now as well, as you can quite clearly tell. Look at that, we're making 5,000 every single day, and that's also probably the reason why I'm going to spend a little bit of time, possibly, off screen, because then what I'll be able to do is we'll be able to progress the various improvements in this town and actually make them somewhat worthy to be the founding towns of a faction, because we don't want them to, well, rebel. Obviously, we don't want them to rebel. That's going to be absolutely terrible. Anyway, I'm just going to disband the army because we don't need them any longer, and they can just go off and do whatever they want to do. And we're going to have a look here. Oh yes, minus 50% trade penalty when selling smith weapons. This is absolutely incredible. And if we are going to have a lot of money, then that's what we need. We need to be able to do that kind of stuff. So otherwise, apart from that, effort for the people is what I'm going to take, even though this is really not that useful. But yeah, we will be taking that. And then we're just going to be waiting here for some time. And that's probably going to be it for this episode. Oh, hello. Wait a minute. Okay, that's a... Oh, they're going in? Why? Why did they do this? That is... I don't know. Oh, wow. Okay, that's probably the reason. They literally just have... They literally just have peasants. They literally just have peasants. I'm going to let them all go just because I can gain free charm skill by doing this, and I don't see a point in me, you know, trying to hold on to them or anything like that, because we could basically just recapture them super easily, because you can see here they're running around with basically no units that can really threaten us at all, so we should be perfectly fine. I'm going to have to get rid of someone here. There we go. And we can take some more loot, of course. And there we have it. Alright, so there is a siege going on here, but this is not really going to be able to do... this is not going to do too much, I don't think. Okay, so we're going to assault the siege camp. Oh, they're actually pretty good. Surprisingly enough. Look at this. They're actually pretty good. Okay, fine. Alright. +5 party size. +5 security per day. Normally, I would take Leader of the Masses straight away. Though I'm kind of thinking about taking Presence right now, but I don't think I'm going to need that, am I? As soon as I have a bunch of people in the garrison here, I shouldn't need it. I'm going to take Leader of the Masses then. And let's go in. This is unheard of, actually. A faction to come back really, really fast and try to retake the town after they have been beaten back so incredibly viciously. Very surprising for them to come back so soon, but oh well, there you go. They want to do that, and that is their choice. Alright, so let's see if I can actually get a couple of initial kills here, just to eliminate some of their horse archers. These guys have no idea what they have in store. Oh wow, yeah. I can't believe I missed that. That was hilarious. Well, that was a bit of a whoopsie moment, wasn't it? Yeah. The guy was just there all of a sudden. I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't know. That was... to be fair, that was actually a pure mistake, but that's very funny. That was extremely funny. Alright, well, whatever the case, we should be perfectly fine to achieve victory here. Now that they have taken up a completely defensive formation, we should be okay. I mean, we're basically just running them down right now. As you can see, we're just crashing into them super, super easily. And they shouldn't have any issues being eliminated by us. So, I mean, they're obviously going to have some complaints, but they can forward those to the customer service department. And, yes, they will be sorted out. They'll probably get a free drink or something along those lines. In hell. Or something along those lines. Yes, indeed. Read the small print. Read the small print, and then you'll see whether you're eligible for a free drink or not. Otherwise, we will... Wow, they actually seem to be... What is actually going on here? I'm like, wait a minute. There seems to still be enemies alive. This is interesting. I don't know why that is, but yes. Anyway, we are obviously still able to get some experience, which I guess is pretty good. You know, that's quite nice. This should actually be the final nail in the coffin for them as well, to be fair, but yeah, we're going to have to drive it home quite dramatically, I suppose. And there we have it. We should be good. And we managed to not die as well. We managed to not die, which is quite quite interesting. I did get 38 kills. Really? I got 38 kills? Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's the funny thing, you know, usually when I go out there by myself, I'm kind of acting as like a bit of an assassin, bit of a distraction kind of combination, because I want to kill the enemy commander, obviously. That's the main thing I want to do. But 38 kills? I wasn't expecting to get that at all, but yeah, apparently I was able to. Very nice indeed. Anyway, there you have it. We were able to beat the last hurrah, I guess you could call it, the last hurrah for this particular faction. And now we should be... I'm just going to let them go, because, as I say, It's highly unlikely they're going to come back and be able to mount any kind of force against us. But if they do, then we'll just beat them again, and then we'll, you know, see what happens. All right, we'll just take a couple. Oh, I can't even take all the prisoners, annoyingly enough. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to do something about that then. These guys. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of quite a few, unfortunately. Oh well, never mind. Okay, yeah, but we are able to take huge amounts of loot as well, thanks to our roguery skill, of course. And then I should be able to just wait in the town and just have a grand old time. And hopefully the faction will be eliminated relatively soon. As you can see, the Kingdom of Sicily is actually doing a very good job of defending us here. And otherwise, I think that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.